Philippines uses the media spotlight to fight back against China. Best to control the narrative. That is why in an age of information warfare, lawfare and grey zone conflict, ensuring that your version of the truth prevails in the media is critical to claiming legitimacy and support, both domestic and international. Over the last year and a half, the Philippines has conducted a masterclass in winning that information battle in its contest with China over territorial disputes in the South China Sea. Manila is promoting assertive transparency to shape the media landscape, putting Beijing on the defensive. It's been an impressive campaign, but it has been less successful than hoped, if success means dissuading China from continuing efforts to exercise control over the South China Sea. By other measures, however, it is a clear win. The Philippine policy was initiated in early 2023, when the government in Manila began to publicize Chinese harassment of its vessels, both civilian and Coast Guard, in Philippine waters. Chinese ships were swarming, blocking and in some cases ramming Philippine boats as they engaged in various activities. One incident in particular got worldwide attention. On February 13, a China Coast Guard vessel pointed a military-grade laser at a Philippine ship that was attempting to resupply military personnel on 2nd Thomas Shoal. The real-time release of news of the incident, along with photos, made plain the extent of Chinese harassment and rallied international support. It even prompted a statement by the U.S. government that such behavior could invoke U.S. defense commitments under the 1951 U.S.-Philippines Mutual Defense Treaty. The seeming success of the media spotlight encouraged the government of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. to launch what one analysis calls a strategy of publicly and assertively seeking out and exposing Chinese maritime aggression for the world to see. It's a multidimensional approach to rewrite the South China Sea narrative, an effort that includes not just the dry reporting of incidents but one that has embedded journalists in Philippine ships and aircraft so that they can provide a first-hand take on what China is doing. It brings the harrowing experiences that Philippine personnel encounter into the living rooms of ordinary citizens, making them real. Raymond Powell, a retired U.S. Air Force officer, and Benjamin Guaragolzari, a U.S. Air Force captain and doctoral scholar, explained assertive transparency in their definitive report on the subject. They wrote that it describes the tactic of deliberately seeking out the dark spaces where grey zone actors conduct their illegal, malign and coercive acts, and then expose them to public view. Its chief weapon is photography, applied purposefully, generously and consistently over time. The Philippines' effort now also includes the Manila Dialogue on the South China Sea, which was launched 2 weeks ago in Manila. It aims to become a regular forum for discussion among all stakeholders of South China Sea issues, a more focused version of the Shangri-La Dialogue that convenes annually to assess regional security concerns. The Manila meeting generated news. There was a substantial and senior Philippine government presence, as well as a range of ambassadors, along with incisive political and strategic analysis. At the meeting, the nation's Coast Guard Commandant, Admiral Ronnie Gil L. Garvin, announced that the Philippine Coast Guard will have taken delivery of 49 new ships by 2028, the largest single purchase in the modernization of the PCG. Writing on X, Powell, a fellow at the Gordian Knot Center for National Security Innovation at Stanford University and a speaker at the dialogue, credited the policy for motivating the governments of France and Japan to aid the Philippines by providing compelling visual evidence of China's misbehavior.